Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 with the Old World Blues mod. Quite possibly the best mod out of them all when it comes to alternative fiction settings. You know, if pressed into a corner, asked if the Old World Blues or Fallout Equestria was the best mod, I'd actually struggle a little bit, admittedly, as Hearts of Iron 4 has been, if anything, overblessed with some really quality mods. But hey, that's to our advantage, isn't it? And this, our playthrough, is funded by chat as per usual, as we're doing playthroughs of any of the mods for about, 400? Yeah, because I do enjoy this game quite a bit. And this one, I believe, was funded by Reverend Norse. You can even see down on the thumbnail there in his rat brick form, as we are playing as a rather interesting little faction, as that's definitely one of the best and most strongest elements of Old World Blues, is all of the varied and very interesting different factions that the game has. Also, am I a bit soft? I think I'm a bit quiet. Let me see. There. That should be a little better. God damn. There we go. That might be too loud. I don't even know what's going on with my microphone right now. It's just, I can't get it to the point where it'll be nice and balanced like it used to be, which is deeply upsetting, but hey. At least it's functioning this time around, which is something. It's a start. It's a beginning, if nothing else. Right, so. Here is the world map. Who is the rat? It's expanded since last we saw it. A fair bit, honestly. God, it is getting big at this point, with a recent bunch of additions. Kingdom of Manitoba, Republic of Three Rivers, as we push ever closer to heading all the way over to the west coast. I think these were the ones added in the last patch. Right there. I'm seeing a couple of new faces. Iron Confederacy. Canadians. Truly disgusting. Disgusting creatures. But we will primarily concern ourselves with an issue in the more traditional part of America. Namely, right here. The Twin Mothers. East Coast, West... Is it the East Coast, though? Is it, though? Is it, though, truly? Twin Mothers. As you can see, it is smack dab in the middle of all kinds of nonsense. Hangdog, Scorpion Spice, Circle Junction, Ciphers, Navajo, the Reservation. But most importantly, it is one of Lanius's conquest targets, which is not great news for Twin Mothers. Not great news at all. And the biggest initial decision we're going to have to make, which I will put to a chat vote, is what to do with Lanius. There are some decisions that need to be taken there. Dun-dun-dun. I wonder if I'll dare turning on the radio. How much copyrighted content is there in here? I mean, Fallout soundtracks, that should be acceptable, right? Fallout 1, 2, and 3 Ost. Brotherhood of Steel. A lot of people accuse Brotherhood of Steel of not being a proper Fallout game. I vehemently disagree. Well, okay, maybe vehemently is a bit much, but not as much as Tactics. Tactics is absolutely a Fallout game. You cannot get me to doubt the Tactics of Fallout game. Tactics is a fantastic Fallout game. Even if it plays somewhat fast and loose with the lore, I admit, it has a handful of moments here and there where it is not exactly faithful to the lore, shall we say. to put it extraordinarily mildly. I've probably muted the music, haven't I? Yes, I have. There we go. There we are. That should be good. So, our first decision, chat. We're going to put that in a vote right there. Start a poll. To do what to do with Lanius. There we go. Right. In fear of spoilers, there are two main decisions when it comes to Lanius. You can decide to join him, which becomes a very aggressive style playthrough, where you basically become a ally of Lanius's cohort. You've got to fight Caesar and build up Lanius as the new great world order. An interesting path that is not as easy as it might sound. The other part is Cucking Lanius, where you decide not to help him, and instead you decide to try and fight him. Now, if we choose that one, there are two further paths, as the first path is just downright attempting to defeat Lanius, which is a very, 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 very long war. And then eventually, potentially beginning to expand outwards as the twin mothers. Alternatively, if we decide to fight Lanius, there is also the simply allow yourself to be defeated by Lanius option. In which case, I will continue to play as the twin mothers, but I will be sent out to Eden out here instead, and I will basically become a vengeful AI that attempts to spread out across this region here, and then eventually return to get my revenge on Lanius. So, first, chat needs to decide to cuck or simp. And once they've elected to cuck or simp, then we can continue on with that decision. Alright, let's begin then. What have we got here? So, the twin mothers, we got their little story tree decisions, of course. We begin with what I presume to be a fairly anemic, yes. Yes. A fairly anemic, blah, 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 English, economic base of precisely 2 civilian factories. Lovely, 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 lovely. We begin with an army of 2 droids of Diana, which are Mr. Handies at about half strength, and 2 units of twin mother Amazons wielding literal wooden recurve bows. So, yeah. The twin mothers are a android faction, or robot faction. But here's the problem. The twin mothers don't have the manpower to start recruiting Amazons, which are fairly good pattern infantry, honestly. Nice and wide infantry. But the twin mothers doesn't have the manpower to maintain that. Or you go for droids. However, the twin mothers also doesn't actually have the industrial capacity to build droids either, so... It plants you into a little bit of a fascinating position there early on. Now, immediately, we'll start with combat language and OMS law, of course. And, apprentice, we're probably going... centralized. Honestly, recruitable population factor is not a terrible idea for my faction, but we're probably aiming in at the long run of trying to get robots. So centralized production probably makes more sense in the long run. Even if that is going to be a hell of a long run. We also have a trade hub. The Twin Mothers Trade Hub. Now that's very good for our early economy, of course. I need a more political power first. Broken request lowered tariff. The Broken have requested, yep, absolutely. More relations with them. Excellent, excellent. Cap system tutorial. I do not need a tutorial. I've played this video game before. Oh, I forgot to read. Night Shroud. What about Wasteland series? Those games, Fallout games? Would be interested in a playthrough of one of those. Also, do neither eat Lanius. Yes. I would say yes. They're definitely Fallout games, as in the style of Fallout. So, by my own metric and logic, yes. Trevor, hail out. Are you watching Tiny the Evil Season 2 and Mushoku Tensei Season 3? Excellent thoughts for both. Chat, please help me fund Far Cry Blood Dragon. Yes, yeah, that would be fun, actually. Haven't watched them yet. I prefer to binge my anime. And who knows, finally, hail Lanius. Glory to two mothers. Diana Stone, a scientist. You want to hear of where I came from and not what I am? It is a rare one can muster out the courage to ask such a question, but I can oblige your utter curiosity. I am, well, in life I was Diana Stone. A while ago, back before the war, I got a degree at MIT before traveling out west and participating in a few government studies. People back then told me that I had a career path that would have put me up there with some of the greatest minds of my generation. Brown, House, you know. Really, I never saw myself working with people like that. Academia at the time had a certain stigma against morality, figuring that caring for the well-being of any soul was a weakness that the communists didn't have, hence something we need to get rid of. If we were going to win, it's that kind of whatever-it-takes attitude that led to Vault-Tec getting into that toxic, cannibalistic, cyclical research headspace it ended up in. Got offered a few jobs, Robco, Big MT, honestly, turned them all down in favor of a little upstart. Greenway Hydroponics was what that company I eventually signed up for was called. Derek Greenway was particular, but I felt like he distanced himself enough from academia where it was safe to work with him. I was the sort that understood that the Vault project was far more than just precautions. I don't blame the others of academia. We were all scared back then. It was a constant. You had to live your life when you had a certain level of understanding and could pull the curtains of America back. It was an innate fear, the idea that your life work will get washed away by the molecular heat of thousands of atomic bombs dropping over your head. Why even work when you could see what waited for you at the end of the world? It was like living on a train with no brakes, knowing that the tracks didn't go on forever. I remember at last from halfway through the 2070s, people's academia began to put more effort into researching based on preservation after the inevitable rather than trying to subvert it. At least those that weren't chained by the government. Having trouble grabbing their names, but Brown, Calvert are a few I can remember. They all had their sweet little plots to continue as they had. Little snow globes that they could fall in as they watched the world they helped forge fall through their fingers like sand. Me? I wasn't like them. At first, I sort of lost myself. At such a prospect, I began looking into matters of the spirit and philosophy. Read Kant, Nietzsche. Eventually moved on to religion, mythology, anything I could get my hands on. I, in hindsight, may have been just a soul lashing out at the world, trying to find some framework I could place my mind into that could help me continue my work, my own snow globe. It was bad at first, but the cancer prognosis that really made me lose myself. Fuck. Just sometimes the spelling of this. And that allows me to promote the node. Excellent. Excuse me a moment, I need to open the window some more. Oh, God. The next heat wave is already on the way, I can feel it. Fuck summer. Seriously. Awful thing. Awful, 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 awful thing. that really should be defeated as swiftly as humanly possible, and with as much force as humanly possible. We're getting trade flowing in. This is, of course, good. Economic growth in Twin Mothers. Nursery operational. The nursery is where Diana currently lives, a hidden bunker far away from the lands of the Twin Mothers. We use a complex series of scouts and tunnels to send resources towards the Twin Mothers from this location. The best part, the rest of the wasteland is none the wiser as to our inhabitation here. My Garden of Eden. Stone, a victim. I essentially stopped all of my work when the doctors told me how much time I had left. I wasn't even the world that had taken my it wasn't even the world that had taken syntax. But my own body. Suddenly, instead of me being merely distant from academia, I was shunned altogether. Went from a brilliant upcomer to someone that was shamed, someone that could have been great, but fate played a bad hand. I was a wreck. I actually got into drinking for a while, believe it or not. It takes a lot to make a lady self-science voluntarily poison herself like that. Derek, my boss at Greenway Hydroponics, was the only person who actually seemed to take pity on me. We were kindred souls in a way, believing in how academia had fallen and failed the world as an institution in letting such things as this come to pass. At first I thought his attempts at taking pity on me were mostly to give himself away to say goodbye before the world took me. It was more than that. One night, after we were wrapped up a date, he took me by the shoulder, then whispered a few words into my ear. "You're a rip-off of Poison Ivy." He should have said that. "Mrs. Stone, you think fate gave you a bad hand? They gave us all a bad hand. This world is doomed. We cannot change the inevitable. We can, however, make the best with the hand that we got. We don't have to stop playing the game. We can win this game. Make the world a better place. Make it so that people don't have to play anymore. A better world." He then reached into his jacket project, pulling out a set of technical documents. God hell. Like, listen, chat, I have dyslexia. Reading this is a hell march for me. Oh boy. Now, shout, heat wave? Well, get some AC, or is that fascist? It is. Like, I've got the AC in the living room. It's too far away to really affect me over here, which is the problem. They were stolen documents from Derek's time working with the government. Prototype for some sort of Zax robo-brain hybrid. A new type of supercomputer that it would have been years out of any system currently in production. Even the highly touted standalone Zax units would pale in comparison. He proposed building a computer that could take a quantum leap forward by being able to pose the simplest of questions with this mind. To pose the simplest of questions. He devised a system that would house a human brain with each hemisphere, logical, intuitive, linked to a Zax unit. The human mind would have vast amounts of computation power and almost unlimited storage capacity at his disposal. Who could have predicted what such a mind would be capable of doing? In hindsight, I imagine Derek designed the system for himself, I think. In the end, he saw using me with this as a better way to play his cards. Could direct me from outside such a machine. Of course, I only had a few months left. I gave my parents some notice and took him up on his offer. When I awoke from the operation, at first I was overjoyed at the success. Sure, my arms and limbs, my body were gone, but I could see through the sensors of the machine. Sure, I had no arms, but I could reach out to robots on the network to directly control. Sure, I was of metal, but I still had a soul. I was still me. As the months progressed, however, I began to doubt the wisdom of becoming a part of a machine. My hearing was acute, but too much so. I could hear into a range far above normal. It was disturbing to hear the chittering of cockroaches in the other rooms. The heart palpitations of Greenwave interns they walked past my metal chassis. My eyesight was perfect, but once again, too perfect. My vision showed a sharpness of clarity that made the world look unreal. There were a single strand of hair, fractals and shatters at the end, mites digging and coating the skin, sweat rolling off the skin and dissolving on the floor. The most disturbing aspect overall was my lack of touch. A few years in and I missed the weight of clothing, the touch of a cool breeze. Everything that made me human was either changed or gone. It told me that I could live forever, but at what cost? It felt like a prison to me, this extended existence. Looney Lenny, I tried playing this during the last free weekend. I realized it was too big of a time investment. I'm probably not artistic enough for this game. It's not that bad. Hearts of Iron is not that autistic of a game. Well, the is not the base game. Now, if you want to start getting into Black Ice, you start entering real autism territory, but it's not that bad. You can get into it. You can master it. I believe in you. I do. I believe in you. Person of the community is the obvious first choice for this. Definitely. Oh, the lore dump. Oh my god, the lore dump. Diana Stone, a savior. I knew that she had come to grips with what I had become. Derek, during some nights, would come into my mainframe room and just gently fuck my servers, I guess, and just talk to me for hours. I still enjoyed communicating with Derek even after all that had happened. He explained to me how RoboBrains, which I essentially was, just expanded, needed some sort of outlet if they are to hold onto what made them human. I recall mentioning continuing my philosophical studies I had done before my operation. The next morning, he came in with a holotape filled with a practical library of the world's knowledge. It gave me some comfort to roll into these delusions of grandeur and the spirit as I was installed into the nursery, a EPA greenhouse project designed around being a parallel to the Walt Tech project, but for the flora of the world rather than the people themselves. After all, you couldn't rebuild if you didn't have the seeds you needed to properly remove mutant flora and cultivate the world's sickened mass. It was there in the nursery that I would overhear Derek's own snow globe. He had prepared for himself how he had laid out plans to subvert Vault 29. He wanted to teach the people there a predetermined culture of primitivism, in the hopes that the culture they would build would be different from that which birthed them. I remember arguing with Derek about this, how it was immoral to deny the wealth of humanity's splendor to any individual, that it was their birthright to inherit what humanity had made, faults and all. There was so much culture in the world, how right was he to say who couldn't have it? I began to drift away after that, because as a woman, even a mechanical one, I could not handle being disagreed with. It was only after the bombs fell that I began to lose myself. When Derek learned I wasn't willing to go along with his plan fully, he began to distance himself from me. After the radiation surrounding the nursery reached safe levels, Derek one night took his followers out and left the nursery, saying how this nursery project had become more about me than the facility itself. He entrusted me as a safeguard, told me to protect the nursery until a day when he and his followers were to return to help rebuild the wasteland. I couldn't stand the loneliness. 1 year, 2, 10. I missed having people to talk to, a facility this massive with only the beasts to chatter with. It was then that I began to look into the connections Greenway had established before his departure with Vault 29. I watched the people in that vault for some time, how they managed themselves, how they waited for their Zacks to speak to them. They were the only people I could watch. I rooted for them, followed the events of their little lives, thought back on how their lives reminded me of my own. Eventually, I made a choice. I wanted to go along with Derek's plan, but in my way. I wanted to help these people directly and guide them as a mother. I wanted this to be my legacy. They would treat me as a goddess, myself their savior. Together, we would make the world a better place. See? The Messiah complex comes for us all. None are immune to the Messiah complex. Computational power. Nursery. Sandum for $20. Thank you very much, sir. I personally hate the twin mothers due to when they get defeated by Lanius and spawn north next to Ouroboros to team up with them. It's annoying because I like playing the mad scientist groups. I end up fighting both armies. Very nice. Heat, you say, here in southeast Sweden. It had passed, luckily. We have rain and thunderstorms now. Wet, but much more enjoyable temperatures. Yes, the mad scientist route does make everything a little bit more difficult. It is true. I see we are currently heading in a decided Cuck Lanius direction. Cucking Lanius, eh? Very well. Alright, so we've got a pretty overwhelming margin for Cuck Lanius. Alright, so Cucking Lanius. Very well. So then, the next poll will be what to do when cucking Lanius. How to cuck Lanius. Lanius, there we go, that's his name. That's his name. So, there are two options here. The first option is to try and hold him off and just fight a defensive war, which is going to take a while. Oh god, it's going to take years and years and years, until basically eventually Lanius and Caesar's legions begin collapsing. And then get some revenge on Lanius. The alternative path of doing this is to let Lanius win, which will transport us north into the Cradle, where we will fight another series of wars against the tribes found northwards, after which we will then return to get our revenge on Lanius. So basically, it is the fighting path or the exile path. Now, I will say the exile path is probably the more interesting of the two, because fighting him is basically, I build up enough of an army, and I fortify this, and this province, and I sit here for about 5 years. Very, 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 very slowly, grinding Lanius to pieces until Caesar launches an invasion of the NCR, is defeated, which he almost always is, and if he isn't, well, oh god, then we're here for the next 20 years. And then he used the aid of the NCR to overthrow Lanius's cohort. Whereas the northern idea is definitely a bit more interesting. Especially as whilst you're fighting Lanius, like you can't fight anybody else. Like you don't have the resources to go north or fight anyone else or get circle junk time jumpers. Well, it's just not going to happen. You are fighting a faction that is a lot larger than you, and merely just clinging on for dear life is going to be plenty challenge in and of itself. Right, next up, what do I need next? Civilian factory. Hum. Honestly, all these are kind of shit. If anything, maybe just a military theorist. Yeah, start getting a little bit of military experience going. There's Lanius going for the Blue Rose Society. The Blue Rose Society is, I don't know how you would even begin to play them. I have no idea. I feel like the Blue Rose Society cannot possibly be won, but who knows? Maybe it can be, somehow. Alright. We want research first and foremost, which means heading down this direction, I believe. Yes, I think so. Right, first research done. Okay, can we get better bows? No, we cannot get better bows. But we can get warrior training. Poor little Blue Rose Society. They truly have it quite tough down there. Quite tough. Volatile shack market. Unregular temperature, 15 50k bottle caps. I shall take the 50k bottle caps. Thank you very much. That is a very useful windfall, as I don't have the economic capacity to really train any more units. I just basically don't. However, I don't need to build all of this gear myself, because of course I can go to the marketplace and look at the gunsmiths, and here we can buy some pipe weapons. Not for cheap, in fact for a pretty damn heavy duty price, but we can buy it. 15k. And also some bicycles from a future logistics network. Yeah, Qatar, what is this poll art? We don't date AI, letting it print art or do you taxes is one thing. But we don't do that. We don't do that. If anything, I think that is probably going to be one of the primary uses of AI in the future, actually. Unironically, not even kidding. I am pretty sure that one of the primary uses of AI will be companionship over almost anything else. I am virtually convinced of this. Cultivating the sacred lands. We must make this shit heap livable. Somehow. Not sure how, but somehow. For businesses, I mean, Steel Soldier seems like an obvious choice, but not necessarily. Let's get the Golden Gecko for now. The Golden Gecko. And then Head Physician, monthly population plus 20. It's not going to be a huge amount since I'm not going to gain all that much manpower per month. In fact, I'm going to be gaining very little manpower per month, but it's something. And what I need right now is just kind of something. More from the gunsmiths. More guns. I need it. I need the guns kind of badly. Dedicated workshop. Organized agriculture. That's a big deal because, again, pop boost and immediate pop injection too, which is a pretty fucking huge deal. So they mad. Hi Art, I watched your Rogue Trader videos recently and they made me realize that 40k suffers from severe lack of sexy rat girl. Add Skaven. Absolutely add Skaven. Why would you not add Skaven? Dance Faithful will turn their efforts to the vast fields preparing the land for growth and prosperity. They will domesticate the roaming Brahmin. The Brahmin. The Brahmin will serve. The Brahmin will serve. I don't care how, but the Brahmin will serve. Alright, stability and resources to market. Stability is always good, of course. Trail's army is victorious. Gotta keep an eye on that gunsmith. That is by far our best and, in fact, really, in essence, only access to guns on the scale we need to gain access to it at this point. Getting some anti-tank rifles would also be mucho nito cheeto. Scout kit too. Robotics, sadly, is outside of our reach for the moment. Now, we do have access to air tech if we so choose, but I don't really have the industrial capacity to dedicate to air tech. even if I could research it, so we're not going to go for that just yet. Despite the fact that, of course, air is incredibly powerful in Fallout. Unbelievably powerful. Particularly against low-power enemies, like low-tech enemies. Raiders on the horizon. Oh, no. Low-tech enemies, like Lanius, they're very, very, very good against him. Recently, a shaman has reached out to me with dire words of warning. Raiders, unlike those of Scorpion, Bites, or the Daughters of Hecata, much closer to the lands of the tribe. They are known as slavers, a people bathed in cruelty and malice. Could these be the same people that hurt poor Hecata's tribe? I'm seeing that we're heading towards a go north decision as well. Organized agriculture. That gives me a nice little boost of extra manpower, which I will quite happily take, of course. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2. You can wait, Lanius. I'm gonna need goons. I'm gonna need goons. Thank you for the goons. Appreciate the goons. Meeting a legend. Eventually, and there's the inspiration for the thumbnail too, by the way. Eventually, I invited the leader of these raiders, a certain Lanius, to meet with me deep within Vault 29. My robotic guardians escorted him and his cohorts to the vault, then we had a conversation. For one thing, speaking with someone who viewed me with such equality was a strange sensation. I haven't spoken with somebody like that since I had spoken with Hecate, Reese, or that prisoner from Tibet's prison a few decades ago. Our talk was enjoyable. I got to pick through Lanius' head a bit, although he is the kind of wasteland sort that seems driven. The winds of change follow the path he walks. I don't know if I will be able to keep him from attacking my children with gifts alone. From here, my children's survival will depend on how I proceed. Do I tell the shamans to prepare the tribe for war? Or do I try to convince Lanius that what he is doing is wrong? Perhaps, after all, if a man cannot be controlled directly by beck and call, then he can be manipulated through a skilled counter-argument to his beliefs. My mind is augmented by the strength of 2 Zaxes. Surely, I could come up with something. Right, so we're going the Cuck Lanius path with this one. A man like that can never be swayed. He's simply too much of a fucking Chad for us, chat. Unfortunately, that's just the truth. He is too much of a Chad for us. Upholding our ideals. Too much of a Chad. Too much of a goddamn Chad, chat. Oh boy. Right, well. My first and foremost objective is not getting too many of my guys instantly murdered.
You ignorant slut.
Who are you calling an ignorant slut, chat? Huh? Who are you to call me an ignorant slut? Who's to say you're not the slut here, chat? Have you considered that? Have you? I don't know if you have. Economic advisor. Caps income. That's obviously going to be pretty useful for a while longer. Loony Lenny, thanks for telling. The stock story last month on Side Scrolls. It was the first time I'd heard it, and literally LMFA'd. Oh, the sock story, right. Not the stock story. I've told that one several times, but to be fair, it's like 2 years in between each time I tell it, so, you know. I'm hardly surprised there are those who have not been blessed with the glory of the sock story. The capture of the Warren. Managing the nursery. How's the gunsmith going? 11 days. I might even... How much relationship do I need for dynamite and flamethrowers? Only 10, which is not bad, honestly. I think we might buy ourselves some second-hand wrenches as well, chat. The nursery is a miracle of pre-war engineering. It is a self-contained, balanced, ecological system set within a deep canyon. The valley floor of the canyon is rife with the flora and fauna of times past. At the head of the valley is a lake of crystal blue water that feeds a river. The river flows from the one end of the valley to the other, disappearing into the canyon walls. Bordering the lake are several buildings that house the maintenance equipment that keeps the nursery functioning. The nursery is where Diana lives. From there, she can project herself to Vault 29 within Twin Mother's territory and lead the tribe. The nursery is not located within our own territory at the start of the game. It's located deep within the Black Canyon territory. Oh, the nursery. I kind of want to get an intelligence agency too, but I don't think we're going to have that option, frankly. Right. More Amazons. I'm going to need them. I'm going to need them. Encrypt the vault information. As we are indeed planning to flee, we are simply going to try and get whatever resources we can the fuck out of here. That's going to be our primary purpose. Escaping. As go north, 62%. Very well. North it is, my little chatty patties. Anti-tank rifles might be the most immediately pressing concern. One of many pressing concerns. And we've got a little bit of terrible supply there, so let's go in here. Some motorization level. No point in taking useless attrition, after all. Conscript, old world, economic expert, captain of industry. Soft attack. Right. Still need more guns. Have we got cooldown? We do. Equip the vault. Are we... I haven't finished it yet, but we'll finish it soon. Right. Bull, or maybe bear. All I know is that I am rich. That's all I know. And frankly, that's all I need to know. All I need to know is that I am rich. If only there was a way to buy robots. If only there was a way to buy fucking robots. Unfortunately for us all, chat, there is no major robot manufacturer still alive in the wasteland. Muy unfortunate. Muy unfortunate. Right, we are moving towards support equipment, which we've got right now. Support equipment is extremely expensive, of course, but it is definitely worth it, because it is one of the very few ways that we're actually going to be able to get support equipment. Very, 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 very few ways we can actually get support equipment. There's that manpower windfall. Right, bring supplies to paradise. We're gonna need to prepare for a harsh winter. And harsher still, summers. Get to work on the saw. Not that we're going to be able to actually build any machine guns anytime soon, but having them and not, well, having them and not being able to build them is still better than not even having the technology to build them. Everyone is orange today on Kick. Yes, everyone is orange today. That is good. That is good. Kick is best platform after all, which is why we need everybody to be members over on Kick. Now, the difficult decision. The difficult decision. Automated warfare or asymmetrical warfare? That's a hard one. Asymmetrical warfare leans more defensive, I would largely say. Though there are a lot of things in it that would benefit me a fair old bit. That's a lot of breakthrough, for example. That would be very, very useful for the Amazons. Very, 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 very useful for the Amazons. A lot of soft attack. A lot of special forces bonuses. And bonuses to creature units, which I will have, by the way. Okay, so a fun little thing is that if you get a little bit further on and start getting certain things rolling, you're going to start figuring out how to get dinosaurs and nonsense. And I do believe you'll also get, I think this one gives you monster plants. And I think this one might give you beasts of some sort. So asymmetrical warfare is probably quite a tempting thing. And it's also more thematic. However, robot warfare. Robot warfare is a massive advantage due to the fact that my manpower is ass and will remain ass for all eternity, as it will allow me to focus on robots. Now, right now, I don't really have the industrial base, but that is a question of constructing an industrial base and conquering one, which means that it is a temporary problem rather than a permanent problem. Asymmetrical or automated? Asymmetrical or automated? If we were going for the Cuck Lanius and fight him in the field, I think I might pick asymmetric. Because I gotta make the most out of what I've got. But since we are going for a lot more in the way of potentially offensive warfare, I think I'm gonna go automated. A long-term choice, a very long-term choice that is not gonna benefit me enormously in the short term, but I am hoping and praying that I'll still be alive when I'll be able to reap the benefits of that long-term choice.
Trick or treat.
We shall see. We shall see. Right, we've got a upgrade available now. Let's buy some basic ballistic weaponry. Some basic melee weaponry as well. Oh, hello, Porkers. How are you doing today? You've never played Hearts of Iron 4, Porkers. That is a sin. That is truly, truly terrifying. I would have thought that you would have understood the benefits of a platform that gives you access to My Little Pony mods. The My Little Pony mod is actually, you know, we're going to cancel that, and we're going to focus on some more anti-tank weaponry. Because that is one thing that I'm not going to have easy access to. Then we're going to go down to the repository and try and unlock ourselves some more research. Hearts of Iron 4, I do still believe, is thematically inferior to Hearts of Iron 3, in my opinion. I still believe that Hearts of Iron 3, like, there's a thing with Hearts of Iron, like in Hearts of Iron 4, whenever you're fighting, you have the distinct feeling that you're simply moving tokens around on a board. That's all you're doing. And, I mean, in essence, that is what you are doing, but Hearts of Iron 3 had a way of making it feel as if you were moving armies around on the board. It made it feel like you were using soldiers and men to move around on the board. And 4 has never quite managed to recapture that feel. Now, we're gonna need Idiot Savant and Fortunate Leader here, that is for absolute fucking certain. And no, instead of that, let's get Rooted, actually. Let's get Rooted. Rooted is going to benefit me more in the short term, and I do need to make some short-term decisions. Hearts of Iron 4 never managed to recapture that feel to me. Never. Even today, with all of the add-ons they've done, it's never quite managed to capture that feel. Infrastructure, construction speed, economic law, civil homestead, outpost. There's an attack core territory, caravan guard, there's defense damage garrison, supply range, there's an organizer, experience gain, and nonsense. And factor. Caravan guard. Caravan guard seems like the logical choice there. But I will happily admit that 4 has gotten a lot better over the time. Much better. Like, it is now a very, 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 very good game, and no doubt about it. Okay, logistics. That will help. I'm still really far away from any hopes of getting that command bow. Crowd gear would be nice to have researched for my inevitable need of occupying forces. My inevitable need. Makeshift squad automatic weaponry. Dedicated workshops. Cultivation. Plant cultivation. Plant cultivation. Manpower, manpower, manpower. Any day now. The shit might start hitting the fan. There's a repository. Let's get assistance for Hekata. I do like the addition of the new generals too, by the way. I haven't bought the DLC yet because, well, it's such a bad piece of DLC. It is genuinely an awful piece of DLC, and I hate that it is like a piece of DLC. I really dislike that they made, you know, army generals a piece of DLC. It just seems like a scummy thing. Like, come on. Everybody's been begging, basically, for the reintroduction of the commander system. Oh, there we go. It's Justification of war goal. Everybody's been begging for a reintroduction of the commander system from Hearts of Iron 3 because everyone knows it was a great system. Did it require some micromanagement? Oh, sure. Yes, absolutely. But not that much. Honestly, not that much. You only had to set up your army, like, before every major campaign, right? So twice during an entire campaign, maybe 3 times if you're going like deep end game. That is not that bad. That is not that bad at all. That is genuinely not an issue. But people whine, oh, I have to click buttons, oh, I have to organize my army, oh, I have to play a strategy game in my grand strategy experience, oh. Too fucking bad, I suppose. Too fucking bad, I suppose. Specimen. I just want that back. I don't like the new commander system. It's too small, it's too basic, it doesn't have enough levers, it doesn't have enough fun things with it, it doesn't have enough bells and whistles, which very much so upsets me. But at least having something is better than having nothing. Something is better than nothing. Controversial of an opinion, though that may be. Free military factory. Not that I'm going to have free military factories for long, mind you, but hey, it's nice to have them for the time being, isn't it? Isn't it? We are going to need trade mongrels at some point as well. And it also just leads to the Paradoxian DLC strategy, which I fucking hate. Like, okay. I'm fine with Paradox putting out a lot of DLC. As I've said on multiple occasions, okay, sure, you're gonna make a very large game with loads of mechanics, gonna be hyper complex, and it's gonna be a grand strategy game, which means it's gonna be a niche. You're gonna need to DLC in stuff. Fine. Fine, 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 fine. I am happy to accept this line of reasoning. But the DLC actually has to be worth something. It's gotta be quality DLC. And far too often, it is not quality DLC. That being one of the large issues there. Do I want to hold down for like 45 days just to get that? I probably do. I probably do. Okay, that's done training. Excellent. It is a strange thing to plan to be defeated. They have changed their diplomatic stance with us. They consider us to be their enemies, and they are coming to ravage us. Which is highly unfortunate, let me tell you. Highly unfortunate. Alright, 45 days. You want to send a volunteer division? Go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Lanius might, but I won't. Reconnaissance, division organization, division attack, core territory, division attack. Actually, they might take him 45 days just to drive all the way up here, which would be excellent, honestly. The form of planned obsolescence. 23 days, 24 days, 25 days. There comes the chariots. The motorized horrors of Lanius's hordes. There. Stalling warfare, my little boys. Stalling warfare. 5 more days. Minimum casualties. There. Fight for peace. How do we fight for peace? We fucking surrender. Now, I admit, we are definitely gaming the system here. We most assuredly so are. As, in reality, I'm sure that the intent, the author's intent behind this is definitely that you're supposed to fight, and then eventually be overwhelmed by Lanius, who has a lot more toys than you do. Oh boy, does he have a lot more toys than you do. And then, when you're about to be defeated, when you're about to be routed and thrown out to the wasteland, the game goes, but wait, there's more. That is probably the intent. However, I am above your pathetic intent, for I have foreknowledge of your moves, video game. I am sage, beyond your comprehension. One more name. Why is Arch not playing Doki and kidnapping Lanius as husband, prisoner? Well, you can get me to play Doki. We're doing playthroughs of Hearts of Iron for about $400 a pop. Full playthroughs, because I love Hearts of Iron. Any faction you want, any mod you want, any game you want. You want me to play fucking Stormfront in that rather spicy modern day mod? You can have it. It is entirely in your power, chat. Nightshroud, you mean we can get Exodites? Get Exodites. Close. Close. But what name? Why is Hearts not playing Doki and Kino Land's husband no prison? I read that one. Help me. Diswiz, after witnessing Outworld and Avowed, I'll just say a clapping seal had more decency than someone simping for ongoing Obsidian's new Fallout game. Wait. Is Obsidian making a new Fallout game? Huh. I would be very, very shocked and surprised if it's good. I'd be fucking blown away if it's good, but that's a little intriguing at least. The Twin Mothers flee north. The Twin Mothers as a tribe have seemed to have taught their last lesson as Lanius' forces filled the valley and took control of their sacred temples and fields. When the time came to finally bring Diana herself out for questioning, the Legion was left empty-handed. Diana would have opened up her true home in paradise to wastelanders and Twin Mother refugees seeking to heal from the injuries they took and prepare for a defense against further Legion attacks. So many of my children dead. The fall of the Twin Mothers. Twin Mothers have been occupied by a foreign force. Already a stream of refugees is fleeing to our lands, spreading tales of brutal oppressions and lost loved ones. Not only that, it was a capital trade hub vital to our economy. Steps must be taken at once. That is true. My economy is going to be looking decidedly sadder now, and there is no doubt about that. Furthermore, my supply network is going to be somewhat overloaded. A tiny little bit. Just a tiny little fucking bit. So, Wasteland Amazons, we're going to need to get a logistic company going for you right now, which is going to help a little bit. And we're going to get rid of some of these, like the Goldhound Mercenaries, we don't really need. We're keeping the Wasteland Amazons, obviously, because they're great. We're getting rid of those too. Luckily, we do get to smuggle out basically our entire stockpile, which is very, very fortunate. Do I have enough dynamite yet? I do not. How close am I? Close. Good. Support equipment. And I'm back down to 3 factories. Sigh. Sigh. Sigh, sigh. Sigh, 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 sigh. Sigh, sigh. Goddess's Reach. We're gonna need more heavy robots in there. Want more heavy robots? Demand tribute to keep us safe. Well, yeah. To raid our land. To raid our lands. I need that money. I need that money kinda bad. I need that money kinda bad, I'm afraid. Right, how's our supply system? Brutally overloaded is the answer to that. Brutally overloaded. Right, do we get rid of the Daughters of Hecate? I think we do. Right. Still overloaded. But a tiny bit less brutally overloaded. If we spread out a bit, we might make things a little less awful for us. There we go. So we're definitely gonna want some upgrades here. In fact, we're probably gonna want to prioritize some infrastructure. Oh boy. Slightly mad. How do we add Skaven to 40k? Should we add Necromunda Squats and Canadon Overlords to the League of Votan? Does Lily prefer bare feet? Of course she does. Should I romance the Death Cult Assassin and Rogue Trader? Yes. Yes, you should. Why wouldn't you? There is no reason not to. There is literally no reason not to. Absolutely none. I have long been a firm proponent of sticking your dick in crazy, as I have explained at length to everyone who has ever been willing to listen to me. And I will continue to be a strong proponent for this, for all future beings and times. The tribe destroyed. Mucho sadnesu. Black Canyon. How very kind of them. They are giving me toys. They are giving me goods. I enjoy their happiness. Now, is there anything that might give me a bit less logistical problems? That's a good check question. Probably not, no. Infrastructure construction, Pete. Honestly, not the worst option in the universe right now. Not the worst option in the universe right now. Yep, let's get some infrastructure experts in there. You're done retraining with your new equipment, and now that we've got logistics systems... Broken request, lower giant. Yep, absolutely. Always grant lowered tariffs. Always. The gear that you will be able to buy is way more valuable than any short-term loss in caps. Always. Dynamite. Yes, indeedy. And I think I'm closing on being able to buy saws as well. Excellent. Excellent. I may not be able to produce it, but I know how to use it. And I got the sources. I got the connect. Not like you saw your Xbox video art. What do you think will be the company's ultimate fate? Too fat to fall? Fail? Also shekels for art because Skaven waifu on thumbnail. Thank you very much, sir. Right. Post. Lanius. Post sadness. I do think Microsoft and Xbox are indeed too fat to fail. I don't know about Xbox itself, however, as I do think that probably Microsoft isn't really that attached to Xbox anymore. They once viewed Xbox as an excellent piece of the future, basically. They looked at Xbox and thought to themselves, okay, well, gaming is going to be huge, obviously, and indeed gaming is and did become huge. But they assumed that gaming would remain, at least in part, a console-dominated space. So being able to have consoles would, of course, give them a great deal of access to gaming, gamers, and to this new cultural medium. And unfortunately for them, this has not necessarily quite turned out to be the case. Or at the very least, not to the extent that they themselves would have hoped for. Right, let's get a demolition team in there. There we go. That'll help out my robots on the offense. The tribe destroyed. Sanctuary and paradise. Remove peace and love. That's right. So, initially, by the way, one of the reasons why resisting Lanius, it can be done. It can be done. It absolutely can be done, but it's rather difficult, is because of this modifier. Peace and love. Division experience gain. Minus 50%. That is why they're so slow to train. Division organization, minus 20. Attack, minus 20. Defense, minus 20. Factory output, minus 15. It is a fucking painful modifier, but fortunately for us, Diana is beginning to radicalize in her cellar. Oh yes, she's radicalizing rather rapidly, as seeing your people murdered and sold into slavery does indeed have that kind of effect on people. It really does. It really does. It tends to antagonize people. It really does. Right. Vehicle designer. Don't need any. We're going to want close air support when the time comes. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft decides to try and spin off Xbox. Maybe even selling it, granting it independence in some way. Or possibly even also trying to just keep a far smaller Xbox. Do I want to do a scavenging program? Yes, I do. There are some truly beneficial things out there in the wilderness that I would love to grab. Maybe keeping it not Xbox, fuck Xbox. It's too much. Ouroboros wants to join us. Local town fest. Political power, base stability. Right, so this is another big one. You can choose to join Ouroboros, and that is Hecate. So this is your twin AI, as in the twin mothers. Hecate is your twin. You can reject her. I wouldn't recommend it, frankly. I wouldn't recommend it. So there is a really cool thing that you can do where you basically ultra-radicalize Diana. Where she just goes full crazy and she rejects her humanity and goes no, humans are shit. Oh, the only way forward for people to exist in the wasteland is under my robot tyranny. Which is fun, but boy, you've got some challenging combat ahead of you, let's just say. For now, if we're gonna screw Lanius, I'm thinking that joining her is probably our best bet. But his strength, numbers. As Hecate 2 is quite significantly larger than you, so beating her and across a two-front area is, basically, you gotta cheese the system. If you want to beat Hecate, your best bet is to have units here and here, these two provinces, and then begin falling back units from here. So I'm hoping that the enemy will push into this, and then hoping that you can kind of slice through a super quick maneuver in through these areas to chop off a lot of units simultaneously. It doesn't always work, but it is basically your only real option against Hecate. So, yeah, now you know. Sanctuary in paradise. After the nursery is hushed, as is frozen in time, the tranquil paradise marred by the tension of the air itself. The factory is silent, the train lies still, even the forest seems to have ceased to live. Deep within the control tower, a spark becomes a blaze, then a raging star brighter than the sun. Diana has awoken. And that is the stronger than alone idea, which adds vengeful warriors of Diana. So basically, that is the Diana just decides to kill everyone alive around her, forever and ever and ever. And it is kind of cool, especially as you also get, so to beat Hecate, you then get granted also 10 free divisions, which is also really nice, but kind of the problem is, you don't have, you can't support 10 elite divisions. You just can't. Like, your infrastructure just doesn't really have the ability to go it alone. Although I do, thematically, I genuinely kind of prefer the go it alone idea, but since we're going for the Lanius revenge direction, well, this is the more thematic of the two. And we do love our themes, of course. We're going to splurge a bit on some advanced ballistic weaponry. Oh, and yes, they will still raid your borders once or twice, just because that's how the game works, so, you know. We may be allies, but that doesn't mean that we can't be vehement, angry enemies who try to murder and kill and pillage from one another occasionally. Entirely normal. Entirely normal. Let's see, vehicle, caravans, 66. I'm still needing a lot more heavy robots that are not really being produced at the rate that I need them, but very slowly and very surely, I'm getting more of them. Right now, I just need that infrastructure, and I'm using all my civilian factories to prepare the cradle for, well, being a place where people can live. Strength in defeat. There are so many of them every day. The cohort grew, the military escorts if its messengers to greater and greater size, but they kept being butchered, decimated by some unknown force. Their orders stolen, their intention destined, ransacked and looted, the garrison slain in the most vile of ways. They found the last outpost, his soldiers put to the cross and marked, maimed and mutilated. There were so many of them. Honestly, like fighting, I recommend you try fighting the Legion just once. Just once. I recommend you try fighting the Legion just one time. Uno time. Because it is actually quite fascinating. The sheer amount of shit that the AI is going to throw at you is remarkable. Truly, genuinely remarkable. In fact, you will find that... Oh no, she's being a whore. I hate whores. Yeah, your best military commander will suddenly grow a spine and just be like, I don't want to serve you. You're defending yourself against armies of raping and pillaging invaders. I didn't sign up for that. I thought we were pacifists. Listen, we tried being pacifists. It got my lesbian wife raped, okay? After seeing my lesbian wife raped, I decided I didn't want to be a pacifist anymore. I think that's a pretty good reason to abandon pacifism. Lesbian wife rape, that is. I view that as a downright fucking... as a very convincing argument. Not even conservative. In fact, I would even say it's downright goddamn liberal to pick up a gun when your lesbian wife is being raped by the LARPing Romans. Just saying. Nolly, I should also ask, what do you think can be done about Microsoft's added data points, the great H1B visa replacement theory? Nothing. You shouldn't do anything. Listen. Allow this to radicalize you. Literally. Let this radicalize you. Spread the news far and wide. Let everybody know Americans are being fired en masse, several thousand of them, even if they're fucking woke crazies. And they're being replaced by Indians. One of the best ways to get people to understand that they're in danger is to actually show them this stuff. Remember, we went from the great, the great replacement is a conspiracy theory, there's no such thing happening, you silly willy wankers, to, well, I mean, it is happening, but it's a good thing. Listen, diversity is our strength, and if you must sacrifice your job so Habibi over here can have another one, well, that's just how it's gonna have to go. News from the south. Recently, with the fall of a settlement known as Eden, we have finally learned of the whereabouts of a piece of property we have long been missing. Over 50 years ago, a cipher known as Reese stole from me a geck, using kind words to lower my guard. If what I'm hearing is true, it seems that after he stole this geck, he took it south, using it to spread terrible mutated fauna across all the areas of former New Mexico and Texas. It finally ended up in the state of Eden. Taken there after being pulled from Reese's infected, mutated flesh in Corpus Christi. The geck has been well defended for years, until now when a group of invaders took over the region and made it and that geck their own. Threats from the wasteland. Those filthy, dirty, whoring wastelanders. And their continuous attempts to violate our sanctity of life. Right, 9k income. I'm thinking we're going lifetime pension. We're gonna need some experienced troopers here. We're gonna need a lot of experienced troopers in the future. Strength in defeat. The realm of Diana. Our battle against the Legion has hardened our tribe's resolve. Gone are the days of peace, love, and tranquility. The wasteland is a harsh place, and enemies of the twin mothers must be dismantled so they can never hurt the tribe again. The tribe has grown. Evolve if it hopes to thrive in the wasteland with monsters, such as Lanius. Monsters. Yeah, Qatar. Gaming needs to enter a refinement period. The new slop is all spectacle and no substance. Plus, it requires too much RAM. All the style games with acceptable graphics from indie devs are doing good. They are, of course they are. As also, you gotta remember as well, gaming has been in a hardware race for a very long time at this point, where everybody has been trying to make bigger and better machines, or bigger and better graphics, right? And this was largely spurred on by the assumption that hardware wouldn't really be an issue. This was kind of like a collaborative agreement between the hardware makers and the software producers that both would kind of keep up with one another. Hardware would push software, software would push hardware, and so on. That is coming to an end with the increase in prices that we are seeing. It is no longer going to be possible for hardware to keep up with software. Or at the very least, well, no, that's not true. It's sort of kind of true as well, but it has more to do with the fact that it's not going to be able to earn enough of the money anymore. Like, people aren't going to be able to afford it anymore. Alright, Vengeance of the Wasteland. Gain claim Jumpers Circle Junction. Manifest Destiny. Yes, manifest destiny. Vengeance for the wasteland. Now, who do I make my new commander? Is it gonna have to be you? It's gonna kinda have to be you, isn't it? Commander Ruth. Well, it is Savant and Fortunate Leader. Those are the ones we need first and foremost. And we're probably just gonna have to wait a bit until we get some, at least slightly experienced commanders. at least a little bit experienced. Little bit. Come on, there'll be plenty of wars on the horizon. Fear not, my children. Fear not. Actually, do fear the, constant prospect of war, suffering, death, and destruction should perhaps frighten you, but it does not, because you are a hard and calloused bunch. Speaking of hard and calloused, I am going to need some crowd control gear sooner rather than later. Alright, yeah, one more load of support equipment. After that, we're going to have to start making our own. But the gun runners have provided us with the basis for our army. So we need not fight with sticks and stones and pray for the best. Black Rock Federation. Actually, I kind of wonder how, I don't know how this is going to work, because I don't have a border against them, do I? How do I get to go to war with them? Still not going to have full robots, which is just a problem that we're going to have to fucking suck up and deal with. Let's see. Line up the saws and the scout equipment as well. Again, not like I have the ability to actually produce any of this, but it'll be good for the future. Vengeance. Vengeance, vengeance of the wasteland. To all that hear me, I will tell you this only once. Lay down your weapons. Get out of my way. Do not attempt to stop me. To the tyrants and dictators of the waste, your reign will soon be over. And I will make sure that you suffer 1,000 deaths for all the people you brutally oppressed. To my children, I love you all. Mother is coming. No fury, quite like a woman scorned and all that. Perfecting the bitter drink? Yes, I think so. Cypher's Worn Circle Junction. Right. We gotta get ready for some warfare then. Lowered Spring. Obviously, I'm pretty sure I've got, pretty sure. Yep, I should have the ability to enter my neighbors just fine, so we can get marching towards our true enemy. Also, I do need to get some aircraft going in the not-too-distant future, as due to my somewhat disadvantageous nature of being just Amazons with bows for primary weapons, I am going to need some unfair advantages, and the easiest unfair advantage I can get my hold of is aircraft. Which will be very, 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 very worthwhile in a war against barbarian savages, no doubt. In fact, it may seem a bit weird, but Two Mothers are able to get some of the best aircraft in the game, actually. Because lower tariffs? Absolutely. Oh. They wish aid against their enemies, the Sleepers. Absolutely, my comrades. A strong ally is a strong Diana. Now, there. Intermediate air tech. Absolutely, we're going to go for that. Plus, I would not at all mind an opportunity to get a little bit of experience on my troopers here. Draw out the offensive line. We might just use the AI to push this so that it can spread out the XP a little bit. The battle for Hoover Dam will, as per usual, end in a nice NCR victory. I don't think I've ever seen the, I don't think I've ever seen the Legion actually manage to pull off a win. Oh. Stop training. You're gonna need to fight now. I've never seen the Legion pull off a win initially against the NCR. I'm sure it can happen, but it seems extraordinarily rare. I don't think my troops are actually doing any fighting. They're just chilling behind the front lines, you know, providing moral support, perhaps. Yes, moral support. And there's nothing wrong with that. My allies asked for aid. I provided that aid. The fact that it mainly came in the form of, you know, moral support is not my fault. It's a valuable contribution regardless. There. You have been granted your freedom. Or stealing other people's land. It depends upon your point of view, frankly. I'm sure they did something to molest and or antagonize you into attacking them. I'm sure you had a reason, and I'm sure it was a wonderful reason as well. I have no doubt of this. I am convinced. Owns twin mothers. Oh, shit. I should have done that earlier, shouldn't I? I really should have done that earlier. I have made a terrible mistake. I have made an enormous, terrible, horrible, godless mistake that I will pay for extensively. Very well. My plans to utilize air power has run into complications. Serious complications. Massive complications. Painful, painful complications. How's my war declaration going? Almost done. Right. Sadly, my heavy assault element, as extraordinarily limited as it is well, it ain't ready for prime time. It is not ready for prime time, nor will it be ready for prime time for a very, very long time. So we are going to primarily be relying upon just good old-fashioned Amazonian warriors here. Fortunately for me, I do have a lot of them. And further fortunate for me, the enemy is distracted with fighting somebody else. Good, good, yes. Yes. You shall remain unaware of the danger at your back until it is, in fact, far, far too late for you to do anything about it. I need dogs as well. God, I need too many things, and I can't build a third of it. Alright, cancel the production of dynamite in favor of dogs.
Hello, sir.
Gonna need your help here, buddy. Oh, that wasn't a crossing, apparently. Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was a crossing. Apparently, it was not a crossing. Such is life. C'est la vie. I will require your aid in this endeavor, Ouroboros. My respected friend Hakate. Not so much because your manpower, although your manpower will be appreciated, make no doubt about it. I just need access to your land so I may swarm across the river and teach those filthy, dirty, barbarian scum on the other shore a valuable lesson. About guilt by association, incidentally. Which is literally what we're doing here. This is guilt by association. My home was destroyed by savages, and so now everybody's homes is going to have to suffer. Lanius declared war on me on the other end of America. Well, war shall have to sweep the firmaments. This may seem cruel and unjust to some of you, the weaker-minded ones amongst you, but trust me. There is an obvious and deep-rooted justice in holding others responsible for your own errors. It has ever been thus. It has ever been thus, and will ever be thus. Combat robots, automated warfare, simulation training. Simulation training. We're gonna need it. I'm going to build up a lot of political power, which is fine. Trust me, as the two mothers, you are going to need it later on. It's fine to just build it up, build it up, build it up. It's okay. You don't need to worry about it making it stack or trying to make use of it. Just let it build. You're gonna use it. Don't worry about it. This is how are we gonna game without 30x40 resolution eyes? So yes, another thing there about the tech race, right? Obviously, as mentioned, the tech race is a little bit on hold, and has been a little bit on hold, really, for a very long time now. And this is primarily due to the fact that we've kind of hit our technological limit, really? Not so much like a hard limit, of course, there's still room for improvement, obviously, but a soft limit, a cap for the time being, where we could technically improve upon things like graphics a little bit more, but the amount of improvements we could push through are starting to get smaller and smaller. Damn it, do not stop the offensive right now. Keep pushing. I know. Casualties. Casualties. Many casualties, but we have to. We really do have to. Pioneer kit. I really would love to build some good Pioneer kit as commandos. There goes the hangdogs. As some commandos to actually help me break through here would be fucking lovely. But, well, army experience. Excellent. I'm going to need it. But we don't really have the luxury for that just yet. I'm beginning to fill up the ranks of my combat automatons, though, which is going to be a pretty big deal once they finally are mobilized to the front, which gonna be a while yet. Luckily, my Amazons are... Oh. Determined warriors. Damn it. Circle Junction. They moved everything to fight me. So I'm guessing they moved everything to fight me. Therefore, Circle Junction overran them immediately. And because Circle Junction has been fighting for so long, I'm not going to be able to get anything at all, probably. In all due likelihood. And now we keep doing this until the AI gets sick of it. And there we go. My first piece of territory. My very, very first piece of territory. Now, I should be at peace with Lanius' cohort. Yes, I am. Oh boy. Oh boy. He's gonna be upset when he sees me. And we're not gonna be able to launch our offensive against Lanius immediately. Tragically, for what I assume to be obvious reasons. Right, the next move then is probably going to be Broken Ridge, the Circle Jumpers, and then the Circle Junction comes up next after that. 285 days. Begin justifying. Now, for occupied territories, we are going to be using rioters, and we are going to be using extensive wasteland pacification. So, this game works a little bit different than most of the other games when it comes to how to deal with rebels. As normally, you wouldn't want to start... You would want to just, like, keep garrison attacks at a minimum, keep everything nice and peaceful. Here, if you want to actually get control over an area, you've basically got to just go in there with the stick and start pacifying people immediately. And once you've beaten enough of them to death with blunt objects that they have given up on resisting you, then you may take control of the region. Personally, I find this way of pacification preferable to the endless pacification of the base game, where you can occupy an area for uncountable eons and still get absolutely nothing out of it.
Trick or treat.
Right, the gentle beginnings of a mechanized command. The very, very gentle beginnings. Let us promote you, Brigadier River Wind Dancer. Strong, camouflage, 15. Division attack, planning speed, max planning. Damn it. He's, That's exactly what I didn't want. That is exactly what I didn't want. That is exactly what I didn't want, yes. Leaf Night Fan. Skill, the lead experience game minus 20, lead skill bonus plus 50, agile. That's better. That's better. A robotics expert, of course. Hardly an amazing military leader, hardly mind-blowing, but good enough for government work. Lanius, there are Hearts of Iron 4 40k mod. Not that I know of. No, or I think there is one, but I think it's like super duper early and not really in particularly active development, unfortunately. I don't think there's no Grand Doctrine in there's no Grand Doctrine in this mod. Right. What do you want? Encryption, decryption is not a bad idea. Army train, experience gain. Machine learning is actually pretty great. Let's see, trade militia, static anti-air, chop job, mechanical might. Robot unit attacks, plus 10, that's not a bad thing at all. Superior of metal, production cost 15, cybernetic implants. Probably straight up mechanical might. Speed, supply consumption, scout reconnaissance. Factory output for now, and we're probably modifying that later. 50,000 bottle caps. Do I want to spend 50,000 bottle caps? Do I want to spend 50,000 bottle caps? I need more caravans. Fuck, that's part of the reason why I'm kind of starving. I don't have enough caravans. Yes, because they might find something really, really fantastic, which would be amazing. Hopefully, that will give me some more area to build a little bit later. How's the justification going? Gonna be a while yet. Okay. Anyway, we shall spend that time teching and researching doctrines and technology. I was thinking that it was weird that my supply situation wasn't really improving. Well, I don't have any ways to actually get the supplies to the front line. Claim jumpers demand territory. Oh, I see. They both want my territory here, huh? Okay, okay. I don't mind. Hey, if you want to start the war early, I'm up for it. I'm absolutely up for it. If you want to kick this shindig off, that's fine by me. And the rest of you will remain in reserve. Absolutely. You want to get this party started? I really do need a... I actually really do need... How to hunt Mirelurks. Huh. You know, I'd never really thought about how to hunt Mirelurks. I imagine it would be an extraordinarily dangerous thing to do. I imagine it'd be ridiculously dangerous by and large. Wasteland Amazons? Wasteland Amazons? Wasteland Amazons. Wait. You fighting? I would like to join you in your war. Oh. Never mind. Here we go. Here we hump and go. Alright, if you want to keep going, that's fine. Let's see if we can't make something out of it. Right, begin moving behind them. Amazons. Like, they're at war with everybody. Everybody is at war with everybody right now. Absolutely everyone. So, they're at war with the Blackrock Federation. The Blackrock Federation is at war with the Claim Jumpers. The Claim Jumpers are at war with the Circle Junction. The Circle Junction is at war with me. I'm at war with everyone. We have just wandered into a situation where apparently the entirety of the universe has decided that war is the only option. You just call me to war with them? I feel like you did, and I feel like that's potentially scary as shit. We have now entered Battle World. The only thing that can possibly happen here is warfare. Incredibly aggressive and violent forms of warfare. Ah, good. The robots are proving useful. Slicing through the defenders like a hot mechanical knife through so much butter. I'd really like to continue that offensive. But I'd also really like... Lend-Lease was once to provide 29 of metal armor. Monthly basis. Sure. I don't really use metal armor, but I'll take it. I'm sure I can find somebody out there in the wasteland capable of taking it off my hands if I wish to sell it in the future. Unfortunately, I suspect my little circumvention maneuver here may have... No, hold on. I think I actually am breaking through. Very slowly, but we are actually advancing. Huh. Robots! Apparently, I'm fighting just wasteland savages who don't actually have anti-armor weaponry. Wow. They should have done like I did and buy some actual fucking AT guns. That was very, very foolish of them not to. A foolish mistake that I intend to fully take advantage of course. Seriously, when you're surrounded by angry, aggressive robots, you really should develop some way of killing the robots. If you don't develop some way of killing the robots, well, odds are they're gonna come and fuck you. The Freedom Fighters. I don't even know why a bunch of masked luchadores would want to come all the way up here to help me, but I'm not going to question their generosity, so please, please. Come on in, come one, come all. I am not racist towards the Mexicans. Never have been, never will be. I consider the Mexican people to be basically the Scandinavians of America. At least so long as they provide aid in war, that is. Oh. Well, so much for Doki. Doki's probably gonna get dunkied. Doki's gonna get dunked. That's a tragedy for Doki Doki, but it's what happens. You can't Doki Doki forever. You can't just play dating sims for all eternity. Sooner or later, you're gonna have to grow up. And when you have to grow up, you're gonna realize that things fucking sucks. And this is such a weird war. Okay, the claim jumpers. The claim jumpers surrendered, apparently. And are now being taken over by the Black Fog Federation and the Circle Junction. This is the weirdest war. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to justify a war goal against them, because I'm probably gonna need to help out Ouroboros. And I also need to end this war rather quickly so that Ouroboros can send all of their forces up there. Luckily, they're not going to need to worry about the southern front. I need to wrap this combat up quick. As it would really, really suck quite a lot of arse if Ouroboros managed to get themselves Cheetoed. Let us try to make sure that that does not happen. I do not wish them for them to embrace the path of the yeeted Cheeto. The yeeted Cheeto is not for them. The forbidden Cheeto. Oh, the forbidden Cheeto. I like that. I like the idea of a forbidden Cheeto. A Cheeto you may not have. You don't know why you can't have the Cheeto. You just know that it's not for you. Game over for Robot City. Well, I'm a robot. They're robots. I'm sure we can get some refugee action going on here. And for once, these are the kind of refugees we like. Fully automated combat robot refugees. Which, if you will forgive me for saying so, is probably the single best kind of refugees you can possibly imagine. Very, very few refugees edge out the fully automated combat robot refugees. Right, a nice little surround there. I'm so worried that they're just gonna fucking decide to invade me at some point and just delete me instantaneously. Right. I mean, we forgot. The light robot is the closest thing I have to a fast attack option as a fully automated faction. You don't really get, you know, cars and stuff like all of the other fancy factions do. You've largely got to rely on Mr. Gutsies, the light robots, which is not actually a bad thing. They start out kind of weak and definitely inferior to just good old-fashioned trucks. But as they begin to level up and you get some more technology, they become very, very, very fast. They're never quite as good in combat as trucks, mind you. Trucks will pretty much maintain like a combat advantage throughout the entire game, but trucks, of course, require infantry, manpower. Robots require a lot less of that. And being able to reach speeds of like 12 kilometers per hour, they're very, 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 very nippy. Right, excellent. We managed to take out all of their main groups of fighting men. Wonderful. Grab as much territory as possible. Let's get as much bonus as we can on our war resolution score here so we can get loads and loads of beautiful territory. The goddess's influence. The goddess have come to make us ladies bigger, badder, stronger, and better than ever before. Yucatan, do they though? Remember, they are refugees. The fully automated robots lost their battle. Listen, they're fighting Lanius, okay? It's acceptable for them to lose against Lanius. He is a pretty big bad dick, okay? He's a fairly large and solid cock of the wasteland. You must accept that sometimes the biggest dick, Lanius, will win. I really should have gone with player-led peace conferences. I'm beginning to realize now, but actually it didn't matter because I got everything I needed anyway, so very happy with that. Right, that is a lot more land for me to occupy, and look at my manpower. Yep. Yep, okay, so first and foremost, make sure that we're using the rioters for everything so that we can reduce the amount of dudes we're sending as much as possible. Oh god, I don't have enough riot gear. I don't have enough, fucking close to enough riot gear, right. Cancel the production of support equipment. I'm tempted to use fucking robots, but I don't actually have enough robots either. Cancel the production of saws. Cancel production of anti-tank rifles and double up on dogs. Yeah. One of the greatest challenges initially is literally just going to be to pacify my new land. That is going to be a bit of a dick. Bit of a douche. Right, we're gonna make sure that we have some actual guard forces back home. For what's about to happen. The Great Race. That bypassed a couple of options as well, as the circle jumpers can actually raid your ass and try to steal all of your stuff. Flame jumpers former territories. Grants territory dispute decision for flame jumpers. Does that give me a core? I don't know if that gives me a core. Giants of the past, Jurassic DNA. Yes. Okay, full control of the nursery. I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need that fucking population. I'm going to need that fucking population. I'm gonna need a lot more caravans. I'm gonna need a lot more of absolutely everything you can possibly imagine. A lot more, more, goddammit. Greed is a virtue. Greed is a virtue. Unironically, I mean that. Greed is a virtue. Now, pathological greed can also be a weakness, of course. Too much greed can actually come right around and bite you violently on the behind. It can. But, by and large, greed is a virtue. Now, where's the one that makes my dudes go boom harder? Bloody mess, that's the one. Diggy Thorn, you should take a look at the Divine Frequency. Its demo is really good. Divine Frequency. Let's have a quick peek. Divine Frequency. A bewildering tale of trash can hobos rise to becoming the universe's most effective security software. What? What? I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. And hello, Ace. How you doing today? 10 years ago, everything was better. Yes, Kick. 10 years, everything was better. So, okay, right. I've been going on a bit of a crusade to try and rewatch a bunch of lost, quote-unquote, old media, right? I've talked about this several times in the past, where I started out with just the DC animated library and how great everything DC made was. Like, genuinely great it was. And I've worked my way through basically all of it. I still haven't watched Static Shock, mostly because I'm looking at it and I have the same problems I had with Young Justice. And I know I'm probably going to love it, that's the problem. But I'm looking at it and I'm getting that Young Justice vibe of thinking like, this doesn't look like it would suit me. And that's exactly what I thought about Young Justice. I thought Young Justice would be a dumb little 4 kids, self-insert kind of stuff. I'd hate it. It ended up being the best fucking show out of the bunch, pretty much, and I loved the shit out of it. But I remembered back that there was this thing, and I was really reminded of this, basically when I was told about the other thing, of Gen 13. So I can't afford to even do that, can I? I've got 500 manpower. No, I can't. Jesus. Gen 13 was a group of superheroes that were basically outside of the usual superhero stuff. It wasn't really affiliated with the normal superheroes. It was kind of like... How do I put it? It was kind of like a sort of mix of a little bit of X-Men and a little bit of Avengers. Like it was weird, and it had a comic book series with amazing art, like genuinely fantastic art. Now it was horny too, really fucking horny. And it was big in like the 90s, and then kind of just disappeared, disappeared completely. And I was told the other day that apparently Gen 13 had a movie. And I had no fucking I had no idea they'd made a movie. And it's available on YouTube, just free on YouTube, because I guess nobody remembered that this damn thing existed. Like, nobody's claiming it, nobody's owning it, anything. They're just like, well, yeah, it's a thing that exists out there somewhere. So if anybody wants to have a look at it, I guess go ahead. And I'm watching it. I'm saying, like, this too. Like, the story is a bit uninspired because it's an origin story. I fucking hate origin stories. I really do. I just resistance going. That's a good point. Actually, I really should. Fuck. Right. I don't really have the time for doing this. I don't have the resources to do it, but I need to get an intelligence agency up and running. Amazonian Ranges. I do need to get an intelligence agency up and running so I can get suppression of resistance. Which that's going to be actually a pretty big deal. Very big deal. And now we wait for the Justify War goal to kick in. And again, it's one of those pieces of lost media. It's out there. It's available. You can get it literally for free. There's no barrier to entry at all. And nobody seems to know it existed. Which is really, really weird. Really, really weird. And I was watching it too. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, like, why did this not become popular? It's basically got all of the ingredients you'd need to become popular. And I think the reason why is it was probably a little bit, unironically, ahead of its time. It's quite dark, it's quite gritty, it's quite horny. And so I think probably it just sort of... It just sort of like came too early. It came too quick. Yes, it came too quickly. Get one sample of dinosaur DNA. I do like dinosaur DNA, to be fair. I do quite enjoy dinosaur DNA. Let's get started on Rumble in the Jungle. Get ourselves some pets. I think we might go for the old world today, because we're trying to reintroduce the rule of the proper people. There's the Amazonian Ranges. Excellent. Right, we need anti-partisan. That's what we need. And luckily, I can just pay caps instead of needing to use more civilian factories to upgrade it, which is a huge blessing. Digitorn, Divine Frequency, at least the one I'm talking about, is on the Valve storefront. YouTube won't let me use the actual name in Super Chat. Yes, I looked at Steam. I found it. It looked really weird. Build more military factories? I mean, listen, brother, I would have fucking loved to, but... Oh, actually, no, I could have. Am I? I'm retarded. I could have done that. That would have been an easy way to ingratiate myself with the people supplying me with arms and armor, but I was too retarded. Nothing unusual about that. Right, you, come here. We need to root out some resistance. Rumbling jungle. The nursery's garden has been suffering an amount of ecological imbalance ever since Miles Rees charmed his way into the nursery, only to steal a geck from us and wreak havoc across the wasteland. As of late, botanical creatures and other monstrosities from Rees's geck threaten to upend the gardens and the pre-war wildlife living here. We have a choice to make on if we want to try and tame the planet living here, or given the native creature helping hands, they might bring back the intended order of this planet. Yes. Old world supremacy. Yes. Yes. We are going to take over the world by using the powers of the old world. By using monkeys. You will bow to my monkey army. For my monkey army is impervious to slings, bullets, anything and everything. They're monkeys. They don't care. There's nobody actually selling riot gear, is there? Because if there were, I'd love to purchase some. No, I'm pretty sure nobody sells riot gear. Tragically. I'm good on bikes, right? Needed. No. Let's buy some more bikes. Right. I'm very slowly catching up on my suppression need. Very, very, very slowly. Alright, what do we want? What do we need? What do we need? What do you want? What do you need? What do you desire? Good question. What do I desire? I desire logistics too. I do desire logistics too. Also, I'll be right back. I need to get a pastry out of the fridge. The pastry exists so that it can enter my belly and fulfill its purpose inside of me. Sentinel Rex. Disney also bought the film company making Gen 13 before the release and was only available in Canada through Paramount Canada, where good things go to die. That is really fucking weird. Yeah, no, like, I genuinely think that could have actually done rather well. But Gen 13 was just one of those things that kind of sort of disappeared. Now, I don't know why. I've never looked into it. I'm sure it's a fascinating story, though. Alright, we're about ready. Okay. This is looking like it could be a bit of a bigger conflict. God, do I... Okay, I should put one more in basics and then just continue fucking pumping resources. Keep building military factories. I'm gonna need them. Speaking of, discourage traders, wasteland economy. Well-equipped army might be actually a pretty good idea right about now. Yeah, well-supplied army. And... that doesn't really matter. Special force capacity will be good eventually, but I don't need that right now. Veteran training instructors, division organization, military academy. Fuck it. Military academy. Go on. Now check your supplies. I know, I'm short. It's caravans. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on building caravans. God, Jesus. Jeebus. I always forget to call allies. Hey, would you like to join me on this adventure? Thank you. I would appreciate your help in attempting to correct the wasteland. Alright, they're an angry little bunch, aren't they? Throwing out some attacks there immediately. Right, I think... Oh, hello. I didn't know there was a hole there, but... honestly, I think that was a very, 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 very bad idea. Oh, there was a hole there too. I have apparently been utterly unable to determine where the fuck the holes in my goddamn front lines have been located. Okay, a pinch, unfortunate. But at the end of the day, that's only really going to result in 2 of their units getting captured and destroyed. And then immediately thereafter, another 3 of their units being captured and destroyed, so... okay, goddamn it. Okay, now, hold on. Hold on, things are getting complicated. Hold on there now. Hold on there now. One moment, don't do this. Don't do this to me. Is it fine? Is it fine? Am I panicking for no reason? I'm panicking for no reason. It's okay. It's okay. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. It's okay. Okay, that was very nearly not okay, to be fair. That was somewhat close to becoming a bit of a catastrophe, but don't worry, you may unclench your butt cheeks. You may relax your sphincter. Please breathe. It's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna work out just all right. You just wait and see. Genta del Sol joined Caesar's Legion. Well, that's unusual. Okay, right. You may pucker your butthole again. You have my permission to pucker. Just don't worry about trying to kill that. That's not really a good defensive position. Yeah, fall back from that. Fall back from that. It can be attacked from like 1, 2, 3 other provinces. I'm not going to hold that. Just... fuck, I should have read what that was. Pandora's box. That was probably important. God damn it. That I'm not going to hold either. Right, fall back. In a controlled fashion, please. Controlled. No panic. No screaming or running or yelling or running for the hills. None of that. Controlled movement, mein Kinder. Controlled movement. Okay, you go over there. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Everything's fine. See? Everything's fine. We're holding the front line, and apparently the luchadores wish to come to our aid yet again. I don't understand how that is a hole in my line. It doesn't look like they should be able to cross there yet, as indicated by the fact that they are currently crossing right there. We can, in fact, with some degree of certainty determine that it is a hole in my lines. And one that I would really like to close earlier. Fuck, they're going to be able to push through pretty much wherever they want here now. Okay. Right, just fucking get that pushed back, please. I want to kill those 3 fucking divisions. Or, well, not even divisions. Those 3 little groups of ungrateful sacks of carbon. Kill, please. You are in position? Good. There is such an excellent looking little pincer available right here, but I don't know if we're gonna have the force to snip it. I'm gonna try though. Right, good robots. Salt. It's up to you now, my little robots. You must destroy them. Actually, you, down there. Alright, we're holding the line. Second robot joins in. And Ezekiel Art, would you be playing the DAC mod for Medieval 2 as Eard Luin, Pike Armed Crossbow Dwarves? DAC mod. What's the DAC mod? What's that for? DAC. 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 What is that? It's not the Lord of the Ring mods. Mod, is it? Is it? Because that was recently forced to change name, wasn't it? Into careful there, video game. Don't go crashing on me. Lanius goes west. Oh boy. Because they were recently forced to change their name, if memory serves, after a copyright. Well, not claim, I don't think, but some sort of action by Creative Assembly, I heard. I haven't looked into it, but supposedly that was some... There we go, they finally got dealt with. Right. Leave the Amazons to fight over there. Bring the heavy bots back over to help out against this big circumvention we've got going here. As it turns out, we could indeed snip them. We were fully able to snip them. And that is a big, beautiful victory. Uh-oh. Well, we scored a big, beautiful victory, and the AI threw away a few of its own companies, or platoons, more probably. Yeah, if anything, these formations are probably closer to platoons than divisions or companies. Divide and conquer. So it was the Lord of the Rings mod. Aha. Well, as with everything else, you can fund campaigns for anything you so choose. And I heartily recommend going to chat and seeing if you can find anybody else who might be interested in helping you fund things. That's the best way to do it. That is the best way to do it. To pitch ideas to chat and see if you can come up with something that everybody's interested in. I mean, I'll take the divisions, Ouroboros, but are you sure you don't have something to use them for? Like, I don't know, protecting... Well, fuck's sake. $800 of my dudes, huh? I would rather if you hadn't done that. That was
fire is the answer.
upsetting. Tremendously upsetting. I don't have 800 manpower to just give away to other people's slave harems at this point. I really don't. I really don't. Okay, what can I do here for the most effect? Good question. Everything's a river crossing, huh? Alright, well that certainly does suck. I do hate river crossings. That place is probably my best bet. Okay. Now, stop you do a little silly fighting.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
Send in the robots, back it up with Amazons. I also now actually have a decent advantage down here. Very well. Stretch their lines to the breaking point. I'm sure if we simply keep throwing things at them... energy cells. Fuel. Right. Yes. With an ever-increasing number of robots, we also have an ever-increasing need to actually fuel aforementioned robots. One of the many unfortunate realities that we have to contend with. Do we just push in here? Yeah, fuck it. Push them. Give them some casualties. Give them something else to worry about. That might open up an opportunity later on. And it looks like we're definitely going to take some pretty severe casualties, but we will be able to push across that river. Very unlikely that I'll be able to chase them down. How to hunt Myrlocs. How to hunt Myrlocs. At least I'm finally catching up on the production of my crowd control gear. That's nice. At long last, I'm actually finally producing crowd control gear in something that might at least resemble the adequate quantities. Oh, nice. A little surround there. Excellent. I doubt I'll be able to assault in there, but... it's not impossible, and it's worth a go. Energy. I'm going to need energy. I don't know if I have any power stations built, but we're going to assume I do. Yekta Arch, I just had a thought. Add the Men of Lettuce from Supernatural to the VPM campaign, but don't tell the party. When they get frustrated, introduce Crowley and offer a deal. I don't think I'd like to frustrate the party immediately, as they've already... Have you? Oh, God. I've already come to realize that the party's ability to solve puzzles is a little bit limited. Which is understandable. I too hate puzzles, of course. So I'll probably try to be a bit more straightforward with the party going forward, giving them a bit more in the way of guardrails. At least until I have built up some confidence on their part, you know, a little bit more ingenuity. Because the party has been trying to do ingenious things and to take initiative. It's just that, well, a lot of them are sort of kind of new to this. Maybe if I just super quickly zoom in there. Ah. Excellent. Excellent. Look at that. A nice big capture. Extraordinary. Now murder them. Butcher their little bodies until there's none left. And then we zoom, and then we boom. There you go. And Digitor, the concept of divine frequency is that you're diving into the collective unconsciousness. It is really good survival, action horror with good what the fuck moments. Yes, I'm trying to sell you on it. Thanks for asking. Maybe. It might be the game that I would pick up normally, but I've got so many other games I need to fucking get through. I have so many funded things I gotta get through. And I am trying to get through them, chat. I still need to commission the fucking Fire Emblem thumbnail. I feel like I've been buried in too many things to commission. Which is a luxury problem, mind you. Most assuredly so. Their army has been nicely reduced. Oh. That's a pocket, isn't it? That is a pocket indeed. Alright, well, let's see if we can get through there. War never changes. Except when it changes. Constantly. Unendingly. Unceasingly. Without pause. War never changes, except when it is the single most fluid part of human society. Except for those times, war never changes. God, I hate that fucking saying. I hate that fucking saying so much. And I get what they mean when they say war never changes. The intent of it is to go down to the baseline of war, right? The absolute foundational principle of war. War is violence, war is cruelty, all of that. I get it, but war never changes is the most short-sighted, most in need of context statement probably ever uttered in the history of humanity. You've got to be like, well, I don't mean actually war. I mean the philosophical aspects of war. Of course, I don't mean in terms of strategy, tactics, logistics, technology, morality, or any of the other myriad, endless, countless things that changes in literally every single mother-humping conflict ever fought by human fucking beings. I don't mean any of that. I mean the fact that it's all conducted with violence. Well, I mean, yes. Another core principle of war is indeed that we tend to hit each other. That is true. So if that's all you mean, then you're right. War never changes. Squeeze them. Squeeze them now. Cut off their retreat. Do not allow the barbarians to come home to their wives, their children, their sons and daughters. They must be left as bleached bones in the desert. Only when the last barbarian falls atop the last barbarian child will we truly know peace. Yes. You know, I figured initially that all of these very, very narrow corridors here would be incredibly difficult to fight across, as the enemy would no doubt be able to put up choke point after choke point after choke point. And whilst that is to a degree true, actually, due to the rather chaotic nature of the fighting through the valleys, I've been able to move really, really fucking quickly. And cut off their units constantly. That's rather nice, actually. Rather fantastic when you come to think of it. Very well, my beautiful daughters. The robots are busy. You're gonna have to do this one on your own. But don't worry, the enemy is running low on pretty much every sort of supply you could have imagined, so... their resistance, albeit still quite possibly determined, will be fleeting. Oh, we have an excess military factory. My god, the luxury. Well, begin building some more robots, I guess, as I'm falling behind on my... fucking god damn it. I need more crowd control gear. Everyone join the Daughters of Hecate. Oh, have they? Huh. Arapo Rollins Federation. Who the you? You're my friends now? Huh.
Trick or treat. Can I smell your feet?
I have Indians. I don't even know why I have Indians, but I have Indian allies now. Huh. Vault 27. My original home. My origin spot. My origin history, if you will. Alright, so am I producing production yet? Yeah, just keep working on production. We just need output. We just need output. Just keep producing. Just keep producing. Call of the Wild. And now, dinosaur DNA, please. Dino. I'm actually getting some fucking civilian factories now. Look at me going. Alright, make one of those. Make a power station. I'm gonna need it. And then just keep fucking building military factories until you grow very, very tired of it. And then build some more fucking military factories. I don't care. Just keep building military factories. Am I still short on caravans? I'm still fucking short of caravans. Good God, how am I losing so many fucking... That's probably not that I'm losing them. It's probably just that I keep needing so goddamn many caravans that however much I build is just not capable of keeping up with the fucking demand. Fair bloody enough. Come on, I need that complicated research. There's not a whole lot left of their land. Economic resurgence. Okay, we're getting control over trade nodes. That's a big deal. That means that we'll start getting some real flow of caps going again. There we are. Alright, let's make sure we get the valuables. Arms workshop. We're gonna want the vault, that's for sure. Luckily, we did contribute quite a bit to this conflict. Demand. No. I will have all of it, thank you very much. But I just want a little piece. No. You can't even garrison all of that. I know, I just don't fucking care. Greed is my guiding light. Greed is my northern star, and by the gods of greed, I will have it all. I don't care how bad a decision it is. The idiocy of my decision is utterly unimportant compared to my need to have. Lovely. Right, I'm probably going to be running out of manpower awfully soon, and yep, I still need an awful lot of crowd control gear. Right, I also need dogs. Why haven't I upgraded the fucking thing with dogs yet? Rioters, you must have dogs. Dogs. Get them dogs. There. That actually helped a fuckload on the crowd control too, because now that they actually have dogs, which I thought I'd attached to them, but I had apparently just fucking spaced it, that increases their suppression by a lot, which means that they can now actually, you know, suppress some of the enemies instead of merely herding them around like particularly disobedient cattle. There. I've also gotten a good amount of captured weaponry out of my enemies. Country soup. That's fine. Excellent. We have grown large and beautiful. But this, I do not believe, is the extent of our greed. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, not at all. I believe we can be greedier. Though I might take a second to extend my control first. It might take a moment or two just to actually do a little bit of occupation. Damn it, I wish I could afford that. I wish I could fucking afford that. New citizen care packages would be kind of amazing right now. That's a year ahead of time, which is a bit much, but... oh boy. I got a little bit too excited a little bit too quickly, didn't I? Yes, I did. A little bit too excited, a little bit too quickly. Bombay Jack, Red Scorpion DNA, Fire Protection, Iron River Tribes. We've got all of the good stuff. Glow in the Dark. Glow Bug. Non-aggression pact with glow bugs. First we'll get, of course, all owned states also called by the Black Rock Federation. Okay. I think that's what we just beat, yes? Yes, okay. Coring all of that is going to be huge. So let's do it. And I'm falling behind on the character control gear. No, I'm beginning to catch up again. Okay, good. There's going to be a long period of just outright suffering and manpower murder down here. Oh, Santa Ana's actually doing okay. That's unusual. Santa Ana usually gets gangbanged